If you're shopping for health insurance, make sure to get these 3 things on your plan. In my many years of helping people with their health coverage, I've found that there are 3 main things that will help people the most when it comes to their health coverage. Number 1 is the day-to-day benefits. So you're gonna wanna know how your plan is gonna work on the day-to-day. And so what do I mean by this? Which doctors you have access to. That's gonna come into play when we're talking about the network. So is it a PPO? Is it an HMO? Is it an EPO? And which doctors are in the network that you have access to? Can you go directly to specialists, or do you need a referral from a primary doctor? How are your wellness and your preventative visits going to be covered? Also, what about if you're sick or if something's wrong with you? To be able to go to a doctor, what is it that you're gonna need? Are you gonna have out of pocket? Prescription benefits, labs, things like that are really what you're gonna want to understand very well how it works on the day-to-day. The second thing are accidents and injuries. So this is the kind of claim that I see happen so often, even with the healthiest of people. And the thing is if you have to go, let's just say, to the ER for a broken arm, chances are that it could cost thousands of dollars just for that visit. So if you have a deductible on your plan, and the average deductible these days on a marketplace plans are about $7,000. So let's say that's your deductible and you have to go in for a broken arm, chances are you're gonna have to pay almost all of that out of pocket for something so minor. And for a healthy person, the chances that you're gonna have to use your insurance in a major way again later that year are very small. And so a lot of the times people in that situation won't feel like they're getting really anything for what they're paying for. So what most people don't know is that you can reduce your exposure on things like that with supplemental accident coverage. And I highly recommend people who have it in their budget to consider adding supplemental coverage to their policies so that they can reduce their out-of-pocket on small little accidents that are common and likely to happen to as little as $250, which people really, really are grateful once they have that on their policy. And a common misconception with supplemental accident coverage, which seems so beneficial, a common misconception is that people think that it's way too expensive to add to your policy, and it's actually not. Some accident policies start as low as $20, and they help people so much because they'll pay for multiple accidents in a year. And so, especially with people that have children who play sports or children in general, because let's face it, like kids are just like little walking accidents, you really want to consider that to put this on your plan. And number 3, and this is the most important aspect of all to make sure that you know exactly how it works on your health plan. Number 3 is catastrophic coverage. What do I mean by catastrophic? Catastrophic means like the really big things, the heart attack, the stroke, the cancer diagnosis, the things that you, knock on wood, will never happen to you, but God forbid they do, you wanna make sure that you really can get the treatment that you need at that point because it could be life or death. And so with catastrophic coverage, you wanna look at a couple things. You wanna know what your exposure is, meaning that if something like that does happen, if you get diagnosed with cancer and you have to undergo chemo and it's months and months of treatment, the hospital bills can be in the hundreds of thousands and even more. So what is your exposure? Meaning that what is the stop loss? What is the maximum amount that you'll have to pay? And that then you meet that amount where the insurance company covers the rest. Okay, so you're gonna wanna know that. And before you sign up for a plan, you wanna make sure that you can afford that if in the unlikely event that that actually does happen to you or someone in your family. So one of the ways that you can reduce your exposure on something really big like life-threatening cancer or heart attack or stroke is by considering a supplemental policy, which is a critical illness policy that is actually a short-term life insurance policy which pays you an early benefit in the event of a critical illness. And that benefit is based on age and it gets paid directly to you. So it's like a lump sum of cash that you get directly to you to help offset some of the out-of-pocket bills that you're gonna have. And quite frankly, a lot of people that would have that situation would probably have to work a lot less and slow everything down. So a lot of times when they're able to get that benefit, it really just helps out the family because they can do whatever they want with that. They can pay medical bills, or they can just use it to help with their day-to-day living. Again, the misconception applies to critical illness as well. A lot of people think that it's a lot more expensive to add this onto a policy, but in reality, it's not. And so if you can lock that in when you're young and healthy, you'll get a lower rate and your benefit will be a lot more than, let's say, if you were to get the policy when you're a little bit older, where your benefit amount will go down for the same amount that you pay monthly on the premium. You can get one of these for as cheap as $20 a month, and I found that it's completely worth considering if your budget allows for it. So I know that I threw a lot of information out there to you and that it can be confusing and your head might be spinning a little bit. Just know that there are licensed agents out there like me who can actually guide you through this process and help you address those 3 critical areas that every health policy should have, and that you should understand how your policy would work in the event of one of those things in those 3 areas. So you can connect with me at alexthehealthagent.com or on Instagram at alexthehealthagent.